Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we'll be covering Roadhog, why he's so strong right now, and what you as the player should be mindful of when picking him or playing against him. First off, let's cover something that people quite often overlook when it comes to Hog. He's an exceptionally fun hero to play, his mechanics are satisfying, and his design is one of the best realised in the entire game. I don't think it's unfair to say that he's one of the cooler heroes in Overwatch, and as such would be a popular pick even if he wasn't as strong as he is right now. The funny thing is, he hasn't changed all that much. Rather, it's the changes to other heroes that have created the environment for him to really shine. The only relevant damage is burst damage. The first thing to talk about is that in the meta we find ourselves in, where healing is exceptionally strong, therefore facilitating tank-heavy lineups, burst damage is the only damage that matters. Because of the utility of Ana and the bigger effects it has on larger health ball heroes, the most value damage is damage that comes in large chunks at a time. A kill is harder to come by now. So when you get a hero like Roadhog who can effectively get an insta-kill or a huge chunk of guaranteed damage every 6 seconds, as well as directly benefiting more than squishier heroes from Ana's utility, what you have is the blueprints for a high value hero. Roadhog does burst damage, can heal himself, has excellent crowd control, and synergizes with other tanks excellently because they cover all his weaknesses. In comparison, heroes like McCree and Widow can deal burst DPS, but it's arguably mechanically harder for them to leverage enough damage in this current climate, and they both have nowhere near the same survivability as Roadhog. The fact is the hook is one of the easiest insta-kills in the game to access, and that's the real crux of it. Man advantage is always huge in determining a team fight, but it's even more important now when there's so many tanks in play. But it doesn't stop there. Roadhog is one of the best heroes at shredding Rhine shields, and once that's gone, the hook becomes even more dangerous. Roadhog's shotgun is obviously amazing against squishies up close or after a hook, but because of its spread it's also amazing against tanks as its big hitbox does not struggle to connect with their larger models. There's also the fact that in the current meta there's not really a low value hook target. If you hook a high value squishy like a Soldier, Ana or Lucio, that's just as great as it ever was, but even if you use it primarily as crowd control, its value is not diminished. If you can hook an enemy tank out of position in a poke battle, that can very easily turn into man advantage. That's not even mentioning how good it is against ultimates like Soldier, Reaper or McCree. The truth is, a comparable skill shot kill from Widow is much harder to do than landing a good hook. In its current state, its hitbox is very generous. We've all felt the pain of being hooked through all time and space despite being behind walls or corners. At this point, tanks are needed to deal with other tanks, and Roadhog simply does too much not to be picked a lot of the time. Sure, D.Va is also very strong right now, and she has some advantages against Roadhog, but if as a team you let her fly around doing whatever she wants, you'll have a rough time. Roadhog's crowd control value here trumps the designated tank buster Reaper, as D.Va can just deny Reaper's damage and outposition him. If Roadhog hooks her, his team can collapse on her, most likely busting her mech. He's deadly to squishies already, and his crowd control, shotgun spread and HP pool make him great against tanks. Roadhog's tanking deficiencies are covered up in the triple tank meta. Effectively, he becomes a burst DPS with 600 health points. Taimu now plays Hog. Now, almost as a sign of the times, one of the world's best McCree players, Taimu from Envious, is often seen playing Roadhog now. The reasons for this are what I've already mentioned, but it's how Envy use him that's really key. Their attitude is, give Roadhog to their best damage player and escort him with actual shielding tanks. They wait and play for Taimu to get picks with the hook, while shielding him with Mickey's D.Va defense matrix and healing him with powerful Ana play. Now at the matchmaking level where the rest of us play at, teams won't always play this style as well or with all the relevant parts. Because of this, in solo queue, Roadhog is still susceptible to being discorded and focused down, etc. But trust me, when triple tank is at its most efficient at the pro level, Roadhog is the star and it can totally suffocate a game. Philosophically, try to think of damage as just a number that your team has to achieve. How you do it isn't really relevant. With Nano Reaper seemingly dead and the prominence of D.Va, Hog has a lot of strengths that actual damage heroes don't. Crowd control, burst damage, health pool, self-heal, and ease of use. How to deal with it. In the matchmaking context, you could maybe spam Junkrat at them, or play damage amp heroes like Zen or Mercy to enable your DPS to focus Roadhog. But at higher levels of play, the coordination and Ana play is really hard to deal with. For how good a protected Roadhog strat is, it should be harder to do. He can do mid-range damage and even insta-kill a squishy in the sweet spot of his ult fire. Overwatch doesn't really need to be played at long range, so his effective range is the effective range of the game, unless you're an insane Widow named Zebosai. However, remember, if the damage changes we've mentioned in previous videos came into effect, he'd likely not overwhelm the meta, because other characters would be able to shine in the fragging department too, but at present the skill requirement to value ratio is majorly in his favour. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like. If you'd like us to cover anything specific, please don't hesitate to leave it in the comments below. Also, please follow the Your Overwatch Twitter, it's where you can find updates about new videos and streams. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time.